Oh, this that stuff. Ooh. Ooh. I'm trying not to get drunk during this story time. You know what they say about wine. You turn fine. Pinkies up. Cheers. Hey sis, it's Zukensia from Delightful Minx, and I am back with another video. Today we are doing girl talk. I know you see by the title what I'll be talking about. Different setting. I'm not at the shop because I wanted to make you guys feel more homey and more cozy and not so business oriented. And today we'll be talking about my journey carrying twins. Before we start this video, make sure you like and subscribe, comment if you can, or if you should comment, let me know what's up, and let's get right into the video. So where do I start? Okay, so most of my friends, my close friends, and a lot of other people may know, yes, I was pregnant with twins. Like I said in my other video, I was pregnant with twins, and that pregnancy was just like a roller coaster ride. Like, I hated being pregnant. And it sounds very bad to say, but I hated being pregnant. Like, hated it. So, I found out I was pregnant. And when I found out, it was me and my friend Priscilla, which is my daughter's godmother. We were, I already know I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant, but I wanted to get an ultrasound picture. And so I had to go to the hospital and play like I didn't know in order to get an ultrasound picture. I know a lot of people probably did the same thing because I know somebody put me on, so I did it. So somebody had to put somebody else on so they could do it too, whatever. But anyways, I went to the hospital and I was complaining about stomach pain, blah, blah, blah. And they asked the question they always ask, is there a possibility that you may be pregnant? And I said, I don't know. No, and I did know, but whatever. So they took the pregnancy test for me and it came out positive, which I knew already. And then they said they were going to take me to go do an ultrasound. So take me to go do an ultrasound because I really wanted to know how many weeks I was. They went to go take me to do an ultrasound. And it just so happened that day, it was a new ultrasound tech. It was her first day on the job and she was still, doing training. And so while doing an ultrasound, she was like, why do I see two? Me and Priscilla look like, two well. So she was like, hold on, let me go get my coworker. So me and Priscilla like, girl, you better learn how to, we talking crap when she left. Like, girl, you better learn how to do your job well, da-da-da-da. So she comes back. And I guess the coworker explained to her why she was seeing two. And then she was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to tell you this. You're supposed to hear this from the doctor. But I think you're having twins. I turned around and told that girl, you lying. I said, girl, you lying. She was so shocked. She was like, yeah, like, but I'm not supposed to tell you. Like, the doctor is supposed to tell you. So, for her. So, come to find out I was having twins. There were two sacs in my stomach. And so when the doctor came back with the results, she was like, congratulations, you're having twins. I was like, thank you. Mind you guys, at that moment, I didn't know anyone in my family had twins. And also I didn't know anyone on their father's side had twins neither. We didn't know. So, while I'm at the hospital, I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, do you have twins in your family? He was like, no, what are you talking about? And I'm like, where the hell we get these twins from? So, anyways, as the days go by, I finally tell my mother, because that's another thing, I didn't tell my mom until after the fact. She knew already, though. They say moms already know stuff. Like, and then my mom is Haitian. They say Zoes know everything. But she already knew. But when I finally told her, and I told her it was twins, she was like, twins? And then she goes on to tell me that her father or her grandfather, one of them had twins, well, several set of twins or whatnot. And then come to find out, my kid's father their his mother was a twin. So I was like, oh wow, like twins was, I was bound to have twins regardless, but I didn't know until I got pregnant with twins. So anywho, now I'm gonna take you through this pregnancy journey. So boom, found out I was having twins. At the time, I found out when I was at the hospital, I found out I was 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, I was fine. At the time, I was working at a grocery store. Excuse me. Wine. At the time, I was working at a grocery store, and the job was a pretty cool job. I was a cashier. I didn't really do much, a lot. You know, the most I'll do was just standing, and even then, it was not as bad because I would walk around or I would lean on something during my shift. So 2 weeks went by, and I started to feel morning sickness. So I know morning sickness comes with pregnancy a lot of the times, but baby, when that morning sickness came, it came, okay? Y'all, when I tell you I was sick, okay? I was throwing up everything. I couldn't hold down water. I couldn't hold down juice. I couldn't hold down crackers. Like, I was literally throwing up everything. Everything I smelled. Like, I hated the smell of hand sanitizer. Oh my God. If you were to put hand sanitizer around me and just, I smelled the whiff of it, I was throwing up. I hated it. I was throwing up everything. It's to the point where my pre-pregnancy weight was 133. I dropped down to 116 while pregnant with twins. Can y'all believe that? 116 pregnant with twins, y'all. So you can only imagine how miserable I felt. And then when I went to my first OBGYN appointment, you know, they had to do the cervix check and do all of that. My pap smear came back abnormal. So she informs me that I would have to do another pap smear, and I would have to also see a specialist. I don't know if you guys know this. When you're pregnant with twins, you're considered high risk. So I would have to see a specialist every 2 weeks, which is called a periodontologist. I'll put the actual name for it right there. It's gonna be somewhere right here, wherever. Periodontologist. I had to see a periodontologist every 2 weeks. A plus of that, seeing a periodontologist every 2 weeks, I got to get an ultrasound every 2 weeks. So that was a plus. But finally, when I went to go see my periodontologist, they told me I had a short cervix. So I was definitely high risk because I had a short cervix. And if you have a short cervix, if you didn't know, that means that it's a very high chance that you won't carry your child or your children for a long time, because any mishap that happens, you might go into preterm labor. Boom, I was put on bed rest within the first 3 months I was pregnant. Now you can only imagine how miserable that was. Luckily for me, it was during the summer. I had just finished up my spring semester of my junior year, I believe it was. My junior year. I think it was my junior year. Yeah, my junior year of college. I was still in college, y'all. And I still wanted to take summer classes because I was supposed to be due December of 2015, right? So if I took summer classes, I still wanted to be able to graduate that year, right? So on bed rest for like a good, I was on 3-4 weeks on bed rest, and I couldn't work, and which sucked. So I had to call my job, call corporate, and they gave me a little time off, and then I was able to go back to work after, 3 months. Well, after 4 months. Most people was telling me, oh, the morning sickness will only last you 3 to 4 months. It's not that bad. After that, you'll be fine. With me, baby, it was not fine. I was literally in the hospital every weekend to a point. The people at the hospital know me at first name basis. I was literally at the hospital every weekend because of dehydration. I couldn't hold down anything. Like, it was so bad. Like, I got to a point where I was throwing up green stuff, which was the acid in my stomach, to the point I was throwing up blood. That's how bad my morning sickness was. I was extremely dehydrated throughout my whole pregnancy. It started to get better towards the end, but I'm not there yet. So I finally go back to work, right? And when I finally go back to work, they had to give me a stool to sit on because I don't know. I think it's every pregnant woman. That first trimester, you are so tired. It's like you walk from the kitchen to your room and you tired. Like 6 feet, you walk in 8 to 10 feet and you tired. I was extremely tired. Mind you, y'all, remember I told you I lost weight during pregnancy. So I didn't even look pregnant, 1. I didn't even look pregnant with twins, 2. So they gave me a stool to sit on, and then I remember one time it was one customer, because I worked in the Sadidi neighborhood grocery store, and one customer came to me, was like, "Why are you the only one to get a stool? Sir, mind your business." So so yeah, they had to give me a stool to sit on while I, bad people out. Within the first 2 days of working, the first day I thugged it out. I held it on. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold it on. I'm good. That second day of me coming back to work, oh, it was a wrap for me. I started smelling everything at one time. I ran in that bathroom, and it was a done deal. I could not work anymore, and I was just so sad because I was home all day, and I couldn't do anything, and it sucked. So that kind of made me depressed while pregnant, and that's not good. It's not good to be sad or depressed while pregnant, because it's not good for your kids or good for the baby at all. That's another thing you guys should keep in mind. So all my moms out there who are pregnant and you're currently going through a situation where you're depressed, just know that it's temporary, and not to dwell on it so much. Just keep positive thoughts, or think positive thoughts towards your baby, so you won't have so many complications, or you won't go into preterm labor as well. So I couldn't work, but on a plus side, I was able to go back to school. I was taking my summer classes, and it was only like 2 classes. So I was able to take my summer classes, and that's kind of like had me out the house. So I was taking summer classes, and I remember my professor at the time, because I took him the semester before, and he was teaching another class. And every time I would come into class, he was like, "Oh, there go little big mama," because it's like I wasn't big. My belly was so tiny. Like I think I'm gonna insert a picture. My belly was so tiny, like legit tiny. I looked like I was only carrying one child, and he was always, give me some encouraging words, because he was one of those professors that really taught you about life, and it really was like Black power. Like, he was for the Black people, but he was just very encouraging, and make sure he was always giving me encouraging words. So that was like one of the things that kind of kept me going throughout my pregnancy as well. I was back in school, and then summer semester was done. Mind you, I was still pregnant. And then fall semester was coming back. So fall semester was coming back, and I was also in the midst of preparing for my baby shower. So I knew already that I was not going to go into full term, because 1, it was twins, and 2, I had a short cervix. I knew already that I was not going to make it to full term. But what I didn't know is that I was going to have them that early. And what I mean that early, I had my twins at 6 months. In weeks, 25 weeks. I had my twins at 25 weeks. All the moms that are watching, you can only imagine. 25 weeks. So anyways, fall semester came, and that's where I had to do more walking, because I had more classes. And I remember that first week of school, they were giving us a hassle, because we had to have the decal on our cars. We had to renew it. And if you didn't renew it, you had to park your car outside the school and walk into the school. My school was not, it was not a really big campus, but for me to walk from outside the school all the way to my classes that were all the way in the back, it was a pretty long walk, especially for me, a pregnant girl who had a short cervix, and that was supposed to be on bed rest, y'all. I was supposed to be on bed rest, but I just couldn't do it. I just said, like, I have to go to school. So that second week of school, I was not able to get the decal yet. It was one security guard. If I remember this man's name, and if you're watching, I still kind of blame you, but it's good. It's okay. My kids are good. So I didn't have the decal yet, right? And I was telling him, I'm gonna get it. You just give me some time. I'm gonna get it. That man made me go park my car outside the school, and I had to walk from the outside to the inside of the school. Can you imagine how hurt I felt? My hormones are crazy. Everything makes me emotional. I cried from walking from the front to the back. I made sure I had that man see me. I was rubbing my belly. While walking, I was rubbing my belly. My little tiny belly, I was rubbing it. And I was like, so I finally get to class and I was crying because, I couldn't control my emotions. I was like, what's wrong? I was like, the security guard in the front made me walk. Now I think about it, I'm just so dramatic. Wow. But anyways, yeah. So anyway, I think, I had to walk from the outside of school to the inside. So I think that was one of the factors why I went into labor early. But I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, so that was that first week of school. I think school had started August 18th, 19th, 20th, one of those days. And within that first week, boom, I had my kids because of all that walking I was doing. So let me take y'all to the day I was going into labor. So the night before, my dad came to see me. My dad stays in North Carolina. And he was talking to me and whatnot. Blah, blah, blah. That night it was raining. And at the time where we stayed at, we had wood floors. And we had a lot of flowers. I had a lot of flowers and plants outside my window. It was raining that night. And I had the window crack open a bit. So I think one of those water bugs came inside my room. I'm terrified of bugs, y'all. Terrified. So I remember seeing the water bug, and I was telling my dad to kill it. But by the time my dad seen it, it was already gone. So I was like, okay, whatever. It's as long as it stays on the floor and don't climb on me, that's fine. Boy, I tell y'all, because I was thinking about the bug so much, my hair, it was not like this, but my hair kind of tickled my back. I jumped off that bed so quick, y'all. Y'all wouldn't even think I was pregnant. I yelled and jumped off that bed so quick. My mom and my dad came running to me. They was like, what's wrong? I said, the bug. And there's no bug there. And then as my mom started scolding me, she was like, why would you jump off the bed like that? You're pregnant. Da, 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 da. So I think that was another factor. Like I said, y'all, I don't know how I went into labor, but I just know that I went into labor. But I think me scaring the babies while they're in my belly, that maybe have been another factor why I went into labor early. But that's just me and my theories. I don't know. But anyways, the next day, Priscilla came over. Shout out to Pri. Priscilla came over, and it was a Sunday because my mom had went to church that day. And my mom was looking at me. She was like, oh, you don't look too good. But she said it in Creole. She said, oh, pas senti bien. I think I said it right. You don't look so good. And I was like, Mom, leave me alone. I look like this all the time. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm sick every day. So, leave me alone. At this point, I was just like, leave me alone. She was like, no. You don't look so good. Go to the hospital. I was like, no, I'm tired of going to the hospital. They're just going to give me IV, take my blood that I barely have, and they're going to send me home. And then Priscilla was starting to agree with her. She was like, no, Dookie, yeah, you should go. Then she said you was experiencing pain too. And I was like, it ain't. And I was telling her, it's not like bad pain. I just feel like they were moving because my babies moved a lot. Like, they were moving a lot in my stomach. I used to think they was fighting in there. They used to move a lot. And I never caught a video of them moving too. That's crazy. But anyways, she was like, no, if you're experiencing pain, you should definitely go. And I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll go. So I got to the ER and I told them what was going on. They hurry up and rush me to L&D, labor and delivery. So I got to L&D. They hooked me up to their monitors. And the nurse comes to me. She was like, sweetie, you're not experiencing any pain. I'm like, no, they're just moving. She was like, oh, you're 3 centimeters dilated. I said, huh? I'm like, what? 3 centimeters dilated? What are you talking about? She was like, yeah, we're going to try to see if we can stop it. But it looks like your babies are going to come today. I'm like, they can't come today. I'm planning my baby shower. My baby shower, I had my kids, this was August now. I had my kids in August. My baby shower was scheduled for September. Because mind you, like I said, I knew I was going to have them early, but I didn't think I was going to have them that early. I thought at least my kids was going to come maybe October, November. Because I know it's not going to make it to December. But like I said, I didn't think they would be that early. So I guess they gave me some meds to try to stop it, and then they were still monitoring me. So at the time, it was a day shift nurse. I was under day shift nurse. I was under the impression that they stopped it and I was going to be able to go home. So when they were switching shift, that was now around 7 p.m. 3 nurses came in my room. She was like, "Oh my God, sweetie, you got our monitors going crazy." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Girl, you're having these babies tonight." I said, "But I can't though. They're too small. I'm only 6 months. I'm only 25 weeks. What do you mean I'm having these babies today?" Girl, that's when I tell y'all, the tears started flowing. So the tears started flowing. I'm calling their dad. Because before, when I got to the hospital, I called her dad and I let him know what was going on. It's like, "Okay, you'll be fine. It's not gonna happen. You'll be okay." Then at that point, when they tell me that they're gonna have to do emergency C-section, and I was so terrified of that. I didn't want to get cut, but I had no choice because one of my babies were breech, one of my babies was sideways. So, and then when they finally checked me, I was like 5 centimeters, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, they're gonna have to do emergency C-section." So I'm crying and I'm telling him, "Please get to the hospital, please get to the hospital," or whatever. So I got off the phone, and then that last time, y'all, I kid you not, like every time I tell somebody this story, they don't believe me. That last time that nurse checked me, she went in and she said, "Ah!" And I'm like, "What happened?" Mir Priscilla was like, "What happened?" "One of the babies pulled my finger." And I'm like, and she was like, "Yeah, it's definitely time." And she had to call the doctor and they had to rush me into the C-section room. Oh man, that day. After that day was such a blur to me. I just remember them removing the babies and and then they had to hurry up and put them in little isolates because they were premature. My babies were born at 1 pound, and so they had to make sure they had to put them in the isolates. I remember seeing them before I left for a little bit, and then they had to get rushed to the same hospital system but at a different location because their NICU was more advanced. And yeah, that was my pregnancy journey. I When I look back at it, pregnancy is beautiful, and being that was my first pregnancy, and my first pregnancy was twins, it was kind of rough for me. But I would do it again. And I would hope that the next time around that I'll be able to enjoy it, because I didn't really get to enjoy my pregnancy. I didn't get to take maternity pictures. I didn't go to my baby shower pregnant. I didn't do like the little pregnancy things as far as like molding the stomach and catching them on video kicking. I didn't get to do all of that because, like I said, I hated my pregnancy. I was miserable throughout my whole pregnancy. And then when it got to a point where I was starting to enjoy my pregnancy, I ended up having my baby. So that's my story about my pregnancy journey. To all the mothers out there, if you're currently pregnant right now, like I said, just make sure you're taking care of yourself while pregnant, making sure you're taking those prenatals, vitamins if you can. Oh, those prenatal vitamins, them things was like this big. Like I had to switch to gummies, but do whatever your doctor says to do. If they're telling you bed rest, and I know sometimes we don't like bed rest because we're on the bed or at home all day, please listen. Bed rest. Like, I'm not saying that will cause me to go into labor early, because it was a lot of factors in me going into labor early. I'm still trying to understand how and why I went into labor early. But just listen to your doctors, and just make sure to not drive yourself crazy with overthinking. Try to find different ways to cope and stuff like that when you're pregnant, and just remain positive. Like, and then to all my NICU moms out there, because like I said, my kids were premature, so my kids were in the NICU for quite some time. Being a NICU mom is one of the hardest journeys ever. I don't want to cry, y'all. Being a NICU mom is one of the hardest journeys ever. But when your kid finally leaves and you see everything that they overcame, and you see how far they've gotten, it's rewarding. It's a rewarding feeling. And to know that you gave birth to a superhero, because I call them my superheroes, it's the best feeling ever, because those preemie babies turn out to be your biggest blessing. And regardless of what they go through, they'll show you what strength is, because you have no choice but to be strong for them. So, God, y'all made me cry. That's why I didn't want to give y'all this story time, this girl talk. Ooh. So that was my story time, or my girl talk on my pregnancy journey. I know some of you guys were anticipating that story, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like my video. Comment on the post down below. Turn on your notification bell. So yeah, that's all for today. See you guys on my next video. Bye, sis.